Well, we thought this day would never come. After 6 long years, we have an entirely new Dragon Ball series to look forward to. And why is this not what we expected? Because Daima does seem intriguing. Why the GT-like childification feels a bit questionable, I hear you say? Well, the overall trailer does have a lot of charm, and today we shall be breaking this down for you and pointing out some of the more fascinating fragments which may be actually worth your attention and why this series could be actually one of the best in recent times. Certainly better than Super. We start with that odd, almost demonic looking structure, which may be Toriyama's canonical take on the home of the Makaioshin. You know, all the stuff that you see in Super Dragon Ball Heroes. Could it be that after years of witnessing it in supplemental media, nobody batting an eye because it was non-canon, we will actually finally have his vision realized on paper in animated form? Well, maybe. Next, we see an interior of sorts, which might be how this place looks or be something entirely different, like a room within a room. But we do have these two figures here, reviewing the events of the Buu saga. By the way, Daima is rumored not to be a super sequel, just so you know. And there might be limited, if any, references and connective tissue of sorts, but we cannot say for absolute certainty if we should actually treat all of this as a brand new timeline or something nestled within between Buu and Super. One of these guys is definitely a Kaioshin, or a Makaioshin, and the other one we'll call the Imp for the rest of the video for the sake of brevity. Obviously, as is often the case in Dragon Ball, the shortest one appears to be the baddest, the main villain of a particular group, duo, or trio. The Kai's attire and overall disposition do resemble a Nato of Universe 1 a little bit, but we are pretty sure that it's not the same character. We're not going to be having some guy from Universe 1 trying to take over Universe 7. I mean, it would be weird if it was. Next, we see this odd CGI face, which originally we thought was the close-up of the Imp's face watching a hologram of the ship. But after rewatching this bit a couple of times more, we discovered something, that the eyes simply do not match, and this might be, in fact, some completely different gigantic being with the actual sized ship. Kind of like Super Shenron sized almost. Also, we are still in the same location as the first shot. Next, we have some pretty standard stuff with the Dragon Balls and Shenron, something harking back to the days of old, someone making a wish on our favorite dragon from the lookout. And bang goes the wish. You thought Pilaf went nuts in GT? Everyone's a baby now! Almost trolling the rumors that it was just going to be Shin and Goku. Well, I mean, okay, a kid. Some characters do revert to being babies, and what happened to Pan? I'll just say that that episode when Polnareff in Part 3 turns into a kid and the love interest in that is like a... oh. But anyway, we now have adorable Goku and Vegeta, Chi-Chi and Bulma, but notably not the staff of Bulma's catering service for yet another party, which means that it was an aimed spell and not something indiscriminate that transformed everybody on Earth into children. You got Mr. Satan as well, who looks much more adorable than we expected him to look. No pudding basin haircut here. Krillin, 18 and Marin, Yamcha, Oolong, Pua, Piccolo, Roshi, the Ox King, back with his signature hornet helmet by the way, Kibito, and Shin, who are rumored to be playing quite a big role in this series. And also, it's kind of weird, it actually reveals something that Kaioshin actually age up. They don't just fall off the tree and are adult sized. And we also have Goten and Trunks, who are the babies. And they've only just aged up too. Oh well, I guess we're used to them being young. I mean, these two can't get a rest, can they? Also, Trunks' hair is purple, not blue. Next, we see Goku leaving some sort of hut or an old space-type vessel. And later on, Goku, Shin, and Kibito enter a ship from Kami's lookout, further enforcing the idea that the Kais are going to be important in this one. Then we see Goku with Korin and... was he kidnapped? Well, at first we thought he was, but now seeing the high-quality trailer, no, it's the same old Korin, so it's important to note. Then we see Goku using his power pole, something we got teased about a lot in Toriyama's letter, which is long overdue to be honest. Next, we see something, like a Saiyan pod coming to Earth, and later Bulma examining some kind of a spaceship. This, however, might not be the same thing, these two shots. Trailers like to do that to try and throw people off the scent. It's clever editing, really. It might be just a flashback of baby Goku coming to Earth because, flashback, him reminding himself about how he ended up on Earth. Then we have, oh, that's right, it's time for the Zalama tinfoil hat corner, everybody! Thanks to the post by Svarog on Twitter, we realized that what we are seeing here is in fact the birth of a Super Dragon Ball. Now, of course, this again might be an example of clever editing. And this thing with the eye may be completely unrelated to the previous scene, but this character does look somewhat Namekian and is pretty menacing. It could be our boy Zalama, which, if our theories about him being the god of creation in the dragon world, and Shin being a major character instead of Beerus, make topical sense. But for now, this is the same kind of speculation as when we had Broly's eye, and we thought it might have been Yamoshi, so we got to temper our expectations, but it's interesting. What's a Namekian got to do with everything? Could be karmic, could be somebody else, but it's still fun to think about. Now this is the scene that has convinced us that the rumors of Shin's heavy involvement are true. It's just a cute little scene, but it is rather meaningful. It seems that the two are traveling somewhere and have fallen asleep. Now there is that amazing looking dragon creature that gives me slight adult Icarus vibes from Toyotaro's Draw It series. By the way, you can actually look at our anthology of all those drawings up top. And this bar is very reminiscent of a lot of GT's aesthetic, and also a little bit of Sandlands as well. Also, there is a rather interesting female looking eye of someone that could be either described as a Kai or an angel. It seems like the prior though. Maybe this is the mysterious Kai accompanying the imp, the assistant as it were. Maybe the imp is a fallen angel. Also, we do think that the person clenching the fist is the imp. He seems to have some connection to Barbary, meaning that the potato wizard might actually have some kind of connection with the entire plot. Maybe this is another clone of Bibbidi. Maybe this is a redesigned Bibbidi perhaps. Or maybe something even darker. Same goes for the person on the throne. Little guy, big throne. We've seen that many times in Dragon Ball. Also, it seems there is some kind of fish-like vessel meeting with the ship at the same time. It might be related to that large face that we saw earlier in the trailer. The trailer then begins to close with an amazing training sequence of adult Goku and Vegeta, this indicating that this might be happening before the Crazy Wish went down. It feels like a cold opener of sorts. The final scene is Kid Goku fighting an opponent that has some Mecha Frieza-like vibes to it, but we doubt it is related in any way. So, what do we make of the Dragon Ball Daima trailer? Well, according to Anime AJ, the production on this whole project started at the tail end of 2021. We also know that the main character designer appears to be Katsuyoshi Nakatsuru. Now, if you've heard that name before, he is instrumental in the development of Late Z and GT, and of course the guy who designed Super Saiyan 4. It also seems that Demon Slayer and Jujutsu Kaisen were cited as some inspirations for this project, but rather in terms of overall quality rather than the tone. I cannot imagine those cutesy kid designs going through some more gruesome parts of those two series. Daima to us seems to focus more on adventure and more traditional martial arts combat, going back to the original Dragon Ball series, which is always welcome and has that JRPG tone to it similar to Dragon Quest Dai. I mean, that kind of makes sense because Toriyama is involved in Dragon Quest with character designs, etc. And yes, at some point in history, it was supposed to be called Magic. But you know what? Daima has a nice ring to it, and the Ma part, as people have pointed out to me, could be alluding to Maho, or magic, so dark magic, great evil, maybe. I mean, it would have been not hard to change because, they just changed the text at the bottom of it. It looks like Avatar The Last Airbender font, so, last minute change, just 10 minutes. It also seems that Toriyama is very much hands on deck with this one, which may be the reason why it looks so lovingly modern Toriyama-esque, really employing his current style. And quite frankly, as I said in my initial reaction video, getting Toriyama invested and passionate about anything is a really big deal. Now again, we're not supposed to think about it as a continuation of Super, though if Zalama is in fact involved, the mythology still kind of works. For now though, it is hard to think about the overall story, other than, well, yeah, typical, some demon turns everyone into kids because they want revenge or something. Goku and Shin are the ones traveling around the galaxy or the universe and the multiverse trying to fix it somehow. And apparently, there are 2 more major characters that have yet to have been shown. But we will find out more about it in January during the battle hour. There's going to be more information brought out to us in about 3 months or so. And it feels like the most recent event was the Boo saga, hence why Barbary and Deborah are actually seen to some effect. So maybe the party that we see everyone getting turned into kids is the same one from Battle of Gods, perhaps. Maybe in this timeline, the demon did something to prevent Beerus' awakening. Like this is an alternate reality. What if Beerus never woke up? Now, I don't think this is going to completely erase Super, but instead, maybe Dragon Ball will be going into its own little multiverse in the main canon. It could work, maybe, but it's hard to say. But we are intrigued, especially with how Shin is being involved, because with all of the flack that we've given to the character, he really deserves some kind of development instead of being the butt monkey of Beerus. He's meant to be the Supreme Kai of Universe 7, so if he can actually rise to the occasion here, this might be really cool. But we'll talk about that more in next week's script. I'll see you there.